We all heard about benefits of the remote work. Work when and where you like, enjoy greater flexibility, and have more time for leisure activities. It is also true, and I'm also a massive fan of telecommuting. But don't forget that remote setup has some caveats and pitfalls. Today I will share with you some key things to consider when working remotely. Let's start with the elephant in the room. I wouldn't recommend junior developers to work remotely if they can work from the office. This is because junior developers usually would benefit from having frequent face-to-face conversations, pair programming, and learning from more experienced colleagues. It is way easier to do this when you are co-located. But let's assume you're an experienced professional who is switching from office to remote work. What you should look out for? Number 1. You need to be disciplined. Some people may find it difficult to stay focused when they are not in the office environment. It is important to make sure that you have a good routine and you stick to it. There are so many distractions when working remotely. It may be great weather outside, or you could realize that you want to play guitar a bit. It is all actually a great way to have a break, but you have to be careful with it too. Make sure you don't forget to focus on work and getting things done. On a slightly different note, separating work and non-work time can be tricky. When your office is at home, it can be tough to draw a line between work and not work. So one day you may barely do anything useful, but on the other day you may try to crack it on, having no proper breaks. Trust me, your productivity will only grow if you set a dedicated work time when you do nothing but work, and dedicated break time when you do nothing but rest. If you prefer or you have to work asynchronously, which means you don't work typical 9 to 5 but still have to work full-time, there are a few strategies you can use to stay focused and productive. One approach is to use time tracker in combination with the Pomodoro technique. That's what I personally use. For those unfamiliar with the Pomodoro technique, it is a simple way to maintain focus by dividing your workday into focus and break chunks. You set a timer for 25 minutes, during which you work without distraction, and after the timer goes off, you take a 5-minute break. While this is a simplified explanation of Pomodoro technique, the idea should be pretty clear. And then you just track your time, making sure you work no more and no less than necessary. And since we touched the asynchronous remote work, you need to make sure your employer understands what asynchronous remote work is. Some employers don't see much difference between working from the office and home. They try to use the same management techniques they use in the office for remote employees. If you like me and prefer asynchronous remote work, it can be a major challenge. One extreme example that happened to me was a manager who literally was checking if I am at the computer every now and then, while not overly concerned with the amount of work I get actually done. If this is your case as well, it might be better either to work from office or consider changing employer. Finally, if the rest of the team is co-located, you may feel isolated and could have less influence on important decisions. This has also happened to me when I was working remotely from Minsk with a very co-located and closely collaborating team in London. One way to address this is to set up regular check-in calls with colleagues. You need to make sure that you know what is going on their end, and they know what you're busy with. Communicating is the key, and in any remote work setup, it is better to over-communicate. Can you think of any other pitfalls to look for? Please drop me a comment if you think I missed something. And to summarize, remote working is great for employees, employers and local communities, but it does require some changes and adjustments both on your and your employer's sides. I hope this video will help you a bit on the journey to building a successful career in tech, even if you work remotely. Please like this video if it was helpful for you, so more people can see that. It was Dada Sasha and Test Club.